Happy Monday once again. Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel coming at you. I appreciate you guys tuning in with me. Just going to get into a little breakdown. Tennessee versus UNC Asheville tomorrow evening at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then the House of Orange is going live after Wednesday, Tennessee versus ETSU, East Tennessee State University at 4:30 p.m. Also, the House of Orange is going live after that one as well. This is going to be a baseball brand, number one baseball show on this YouTube, whatever you want to call it at this point. That's where we're going, number one cover of it right here. But let's get right in. I mean, before we get into that, you know the drill, guys. If you like what I'm putting out, please like it. If you know anybody that's a Tennessee baseball fan, just Tennessee sports fan, share it out to them. And, just trying to build subs, build subscriptions as we baseball season 3 games in. Basketball, we're a couple weeks out from March Madness. And then, of course, football season, spring practice right around the corner. We'll cover that as well. And then getting into the fall. Got some ideas of things I'm going to do for football in the fall. I'm not doing the post-game route for football. There's too many others doing it. It would be counterproductive, honestly, for me to do it. So I'm going to come up with something. I've got a couple pretty good ideas right now that I'll run. See how it goes later on. But anyway, let's get right into this. Enough of me rambling. Tennessee, UNC Asheville tomorrow evening, Lindsey Nelson Stadium. It's a home opener for Tennessee. And there's a lot of fascinating questions for me with this game. As before I get to that, let me get into my talking points I've got. First one I had was who to watch for. So UNC Asheville comes in. Basically, I'll flip-flop the two. What I know about UNC Asheville, they played Georgia this past weekend. And for lack of a better term, they got their asses whipped 3 games. So 11-2 on Friday, 17-5 on Saturday, 10-0 on Sunday. So not a good weekend for UNC Asheville. So I don't know if it's a case of Georgia's that good, UNC Asheville's not that good, maybe a combination of both in there. I do know from looking at it and from what little I know about UNC Asheville, they do have the Big South preseason player of the year. Where'd I lose that? Robbie Burnett. So he had a good weekend against Georgia. He played he came out of the weekend with a 400 average on it. He had a couple of home runs. Elsewhere for UNC Asheville, looking at it, really their only other guys that I see that stood out to me. Like I said, Burnett had, he was 4 for 10. He had 3 runs, 1 double, 2 home runs, 2 RBIs. Only struck out once in 10 at bats. So this is guy puts the ball in play, stole 2 bases as well, 2 for 2. So looks to me on base percentage 45.5%, OPS of over 1,500, basically. Pretty good looking player right here from what I'm seeing. And there are other guys who looked like had okay weekends. You had Cameron Johnson, started all 3 games, 250 for the weekend. He went 2 for 8. He also had walks. He did strike out 4 times. And then Michael Groves, who looks like he was 2 for 10 on the weekend. Corbin Lanowitz, 2 for 10. Cole Abrams, 1 for 12 on the weekend. So Georgia pretty much shut this team down. And, I'm not even going to look at pitching because I don't think you'll see – maybe you see some relief guys. I'll look a little bit at it. But as far as guys who started – you're probably not going to see them this weekend. They had Cole Schiff, Justin Honeycutt, and Clay Edmondson, who all started this weekend. So I think it's pretty safe to say you won't see any of those guys this weekend unless they just, each of them, Schiff only went 3 innings. Honeycutt went 2 1/3 innings, and Edmondson went 2 2/3 innings. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that Tennessee could see one of those guys this weekend. But normally each team has their midweek starters, their midweek ones that they can kind of get into there a little bit. But, that's what little I know out of UNC Asheville. I know it wasn't a good opening weekend for them. So where do they go tomorrow night? And this is a team Tennessee normally plays every year. I don't know that they go over to Asheville. But you saw Tennessee they would go to ETSU and play. They would go to UNC Asheville and play because I used to go pretty much every year when I was still living up there when they would come to Johnson City. Went a lot of years and saw them play up there. Funny enough, I've seen quite a few UT road games, but I have never in my life, for whatever reason, seen a game at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. I'm hoping to change that this year. I've seen like 4 games in Columbia when I was living either in Columbia or close to Columbia, and then I saw quite a few when they come to Johnson City as well. But Tennessee, getting into Tennessee. So that, again, that's what I know about UNC Asheville. Not a lot, but it's not, I don't see projected starters as of yet for tomorrow night on either side. And I'm sure if Tony Vitello meets with the media today at some point that we may know a little bit more on that. If I'm going to look on 24/7. I know Tennessee did, kind of off topic, they did get a new running backs coach today who come from Cincinnati. So that was a little bit of news. But other than that, I'm not seeing where Vitello's met the media. One news of note was for Tennessee baseball, A.J. Causey named co-SEC pitcher of the week. Well-deserved for him. He come in and pitched lights out Friday night when he come in. He really had one bad pitch in which Texas Tech got a triple, but those runs were charged to A.J. Russell and not A.J. Causey. And Causey pitched lights out because I know Vitello talked about he had planned to go to Aaron Combs. He didn't need to. Causey shut it down. Good outing for him. He had good stuff. He had a lot of movement on his pitches as well. But getting back into the baseball, who takes the mound tomorrow night? I'll be honest, I don't know on this one. And I've tried to rack my brain a little bit on it. It's not going to be Russell. It's not going to be Beam. It's not going to be anybody who pitched yesterday. I don't think Seacrest bounces back 2 days later and throws. It won't be Nate Snead, who threw a lot of pitches. So that leaves me to basically who I'm looking at could be the possibilities here. I'm looking at possibly Matthew Dallas. That's one I'm thinking off the top of my head. I wonder if they give him some look. A guy I was high on coming in is Wyatt Evans. Apparently he's in the doghouse right now. Didn't even make the trip this past weekend, but I think he can be a big factor on this team. Don't know if it was anything major that he's done getting in trouble. It just may be something that has pissed Tony Vitello off, but could Wyatt Evans get a look at it? Some of these other, Dylan Lloyd, a pitcher out of Pigeon Forge. I mentioned Dallas. They go Derek Schaefer. Could you get him another look after he threw the other night? Some guys who redshirted I'm looking at. J.J. Garcia. Could you look at redshirt freshman Brady Robertson out of Humboldt, Tennessee? Austin Hunley out of Mount Juliet. That's honestly my only candidates for it. I don't see anybody who threw this weekend bouncing back and starting tomorrow night. It seems like most of those guys are going to be pretty vital weapons out of the bullpen. So that's my candidates. Just a guess, an educated guess based on nothing I know. I'm going to go with they start Matthew Dallas tomorrow night. And I could be totally wrong on that one. I'm curious to see if I'm really interested what Frank Anderson, Tony Vitello goes with that one. I think whoever it is will be ready, though, whether it's one of those redshirt freshmen or whether it's one of those true freshmen. That's my pick on it. Now, they could shock me and Kirby Cannell comes out and takes the mound first thing tomorrow night. But that one bears watching to me. And then, of course, we'll talk about it on the post-game show tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to that one, especially being an earlier one, not some midnight special like we had for 2 nights. My fourth bullet point, I'm curious to see if Vitello sticks with the same lineup or not. I'm pretty vocal on this one in that Hunter Inslee's not a leadoff guy. He's not the top third. He's not a top of the order guy. And that's not me hating on him or anything. He's a good baseball player. He does good center fielder. He has some timely hits. So he had a big timely hit at Clemson last year, which won that baseball game for them. I didn't think he was a 2-hole hitter last year. I definitely don't think he's a leadoff guy now. And maybe I look at things differently. There was nothing to me that backed up him leading off. There's nothing this weekend that backed it up. So I still say I go, if Tony Vitello, I know he likes right, left, or left, right, and so on. I'm still an advocate for Christian Moore leading off. And I saw people saying, well, he needs to be on, be hitting with runners on. What's no damn different this weekend? I mean, he come up in the first inning one time with a runner on this weekend. They scored no runs in the first inning in 3 games. You want to get out of the gates hot. Tennessee did not do that. And that tells me you had for 2 games Inslee and Blake Burke. It's 2 guys that are not top of the lineup hitters on it. Christian Moore leading off, Dylan Dreiling, Billy Amick. That's your top 3. Okay. No, I mean, if you want to change it up, I don't know how you do it. Maybe you go Dreiling more or Amick 2. If he's going left, right, maybe you move Peebles or Tiers 3, and then you go more 4. I could see that, but honestly, I don't want more any lower than 3. So going right, left, right, to me, get your top 3 guys that chance. We'll see if Tony goes with it or not. I'm interested. I'm interested to see a lot of things he does this way. I'm curious to see if anybody else gets a look in the middle infield. Christian Moore is going to be there, but Vitale said yesterday he could play multiple positions. He's a selfless guy. And so could you see, is Curley ready to come into the lineup? I don't think Antigua is ready as of yet. From my understanding, he was going to be out a month or so. I don't know. I could see them getting another middle infielder a look. Do they take some more looks in the outfield? You know, who starts catching? I don't expect Peebles behind the plate tomorrow night. I would expect him to DH. Robin Villeneuve, you got to get him in the lineup. He had 2 hits and he had a walk in his other at bat this weekend. There's a lot of talent on this team. It may not always show out through the games. I mean, Saturday night, they had a lot of strikeouts. They had 10 strikeouts last night. Make no mistake about it. In this lineup and in this rotation, this Tennessee baseball team is loaded with talent. It's just a matter of getting it to mesh and finding the right formula. And it's going to change a lot. I would almost bet money he's going to tinker with it and go mess around with it tomorrow night. But I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to come on post game. I hope you guys will join me for that. Have some good baseball conversation. We're going to build this baseball brand up. Again, it will be, you know, I'm not factoring in 24/7, Rocky Top Insider, VolQuest, or any of those. Those are on, it's a whole different thing. This one, channel, will be the top baseball brand out there. It's nothing against anybody else, but I'm going to cover post games. I'm going to do breakdowns and stuff pretty often. And I know a lot of outlets talk about it, and I'm sure they all do a fine job. I'm going to cover it as thorough as anyone does out there. I can guarantee you that. My name's Frank Rock. This is the House of Orange Sports Channel. Thank you guys for tuning in with me. Enjoy the Daytona 500. Enjoy the rest of Monday. And as always, go Vols.